The New York Jets have an Aaron Rodgers problem. Over the past few months, we posted two videos detailing how the Jets will win 11 games this season. That has changed. With the firing of Robert Saleh and an aging Aaron Rodgers that has shown some poor performances so far this season, we called an emergency meeting with our co-hosts Jacob Hale and Jordan Flowers to discuss the Jets' future. Stick around until the end and watch our co-host Jacob Hale and a very special guest break down Jordan's response. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Men the Podcast, where we empower your narratives. And this is going to be a super quick intro. So, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think down below. But this is a big one. This is an emergency meeting. All right. I called Jordan up. I said, Jordan, I need you. I need you to come down. I have some questions. I need some answers for some stuff. So we're starting this right off the bat. Jordan, what is your initial reaction with the firing of Robert Saleh?
I'm tired. I'm so tired of all of this. This has been 14 years, just culminating to this. My initial reaction is he was the least of our problems. Obviously, we got so many people in the building that need to go, but that we can hit that in a little bit. I love Robert Saleh. He's a leader of men. I'm really upset about him being fired. Honestly, I think he did a great job with the defense. I mean, with what Woody Johnson kind of had for our expectations for our team, I think didn't really match up with the reality of it. I'll get into that in a second, but I don't think he was the scapegoat, the right scapegoat to probably have. I would have loved to see him kind of try to, at least get to the end of the season to see if we could turn it around. I think for him, he's a person I think that all the players want to play for. Obviously, we weren't able to get some of the results, but it's been early. We got 5 games of Aaron Rodgers, and obviously he hasn't been playing the best. So I think it was the wrong move. I think this happening so early in the season could have really bad ramifications. But what I'm really upset with is just the handling of it as well. I think the reports came out that they didn't allow him to address the team. He had to get escorted out the building. Like, I don't think of Robert Saleh as somebody that's violent or somebody that's like going to cause any type of bodily harm. So I just didn't understand all of that. Obviously, y'all new guys know I'm a diehard Jets fan, but I think with what Woody Johnson has, and I'm not going to try to bash a person in, but I just think he's very impulsive in terms of making decisions. And again, I just think the reality of where we are today and putting things together. Garrett is starting to figure things out. Aaron Rodgers, coming off some of his worst games. So I think it was just unfair to throw him under the bus. Now, granted, he did have a 20 and 36 record. So that's going to get anybody fired in the NFL. But in saying that, I don't think he was the main source of the problem at all. So, I mean, I'm wishing him the best. I think he's going to be a great defensive coordinator going to grab another head coaching job. But I think this is the wrong move. I think at this particular point in time, I think I would have loved to see it either at the end of the season if we didn't, turn things around and maybe make a run for the playoffs, then that'd be more justified. But 5 games in, we lose to the 5-0 Vikings after 3 interception Rodgers thing, and we had a chance to win. So I just didn't understand how that was kind of like the tip of the iceberg point for Woody to say, hey, this is not our guy. I'm really sick about it. I don't think this is the right move at all. And we have 150 other issues other than Robert Saleh. But yeah, this is a tough one.
As a podcast member, extending it onto you, I do feel for it. I've been there, definitely. It's been a tough road for the Bears, and we're finally seeing a glimmer of hope. So I'm riding with that as long as I can, for sure. Yeah, it's a tough situation. And more importantly, it's a tough situation for the fans because people come up to you like you were the one making decisions. So you got to go and defend your team every single week, making decisions that you also don't agree with. It's tough, and I feel for you. Just got to hang in there and see what you guys can salvage for the rest of the year. And who knows what can happen. But I think the last 2 videos that we posted about this, which if you haven't already, go ahead and check those out. You definitely cause a lot of stir. You have a lot of hate comments about your stance on the Jets and everything. So what I did was with this episode coming up, I actually asked the fans. I was like, "Hey, what are some questions that you would like me to ask Jordan personally, and would like him to address for this next episode?" So I have some questions for you. People want to know, with Rodgers taking that sabbatical in the middle of the summer, do you think that is one of the main causes of the disconnect between him and Garrett Wilson, and getting that duo going?
First and foremost, I love the word choice, whoever that was. Shout out to you. I'm a big vocab guy, so some nerdy stuff. No, I don't think that's the problem at all. I would have loved to see Rodgers play in the preseason. Um, I think Garrett is kind of learning who Rodgers is. Again, they only have 5 games in. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't play last year at all. So we know, football is about chemistry, particularly when we're talking about a number one wide receiver and a quarterback. I don't think that was it. I think they got some great work in during the summer. If you guys were able to check out One Jet Drive, their summer YouTube series that they do, they had some great connections throughout the summer. So I don't think that was it at all. I think what really is happening is we become very predictable. And Garrett, and obviously there is some chemistry issues, but I think Garrett can, and I love Garrett a lot, but he can do some freestyling. I think there's just chemistry issues just from just lack of time being together. So I think they're getting on the right track. We're just seeing how I think they connected for 10 times. I think Garrett got 10 catches in against Minnesota. Granted, they threw 50 times, but I don't think anything had to do with that little 2 week. If you think a week break, now granted it is Aaron Rodgers and we know what type of week breaks he's taking, is the reason why Garrett Wilson is kind of sometimes out there freestyling, then I don't know what to tell you. But I think they're getting on the right track, and Garrett will start to learn what Rodgers like this, what Rodgers is seeing, and I think they'll culminate at the right time. But to say that with 5 games in is just a little diabolical and a little over dramatic for the person that sat there and had the time to write that verbiage out. So those are a couple little verbs for you.
There you go. So, in your eyes, and we'll just put you in this GM role now, just for a hypothetical. Where do you see the Jets going from here? What do you think are the most important things they need to do to maintain and get to the point where they're having a successful season?
Okay, so we're putting me in at the GM, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So you know what I'm saying? I gotta put a little, the cape on, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm so jetsed up, baby. Jets. If I was Woody Johnson and the black Woody Johnson at that, yo, I don't know where we kind of go from here. I think from here on out, I think the season, I wouldn't say that the season is a wash. We're playing, hear me and hear me good. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Everybody can hear me? Hear me and hear me good when I say this, bro. We are about to play for the first place right now. Monday Night Football is for first place, and we are playing against Josh Allen, which you know what happened last time. We had to cut some things out, and hell, you know exactly what I'm talking about, the tragedy on a certain day. But in saying that, look, we are good. We are good. I think we end up, honestly, I really do think we get the wild card spot at the end of the day. But I think just let's see what Jeff Ulbrich was going to bring to that. I think, Todd Downing didn't have the best of tenures down there at Tennessee. I think he was I think he had the 28th ranked offense when he was down there in Tennessee. So I don't really know. I think the offense will be pretty similar. I don't think that the defense is much of a problem. We are giving up a lot of yards, though. Sauce is kind of holding. Sometimes people are pointing that out. So I think we're in a good spot, though. I don't think it's not full panic mode. I think there's concerns, but I don't think there's full panic. And I think, outsourcing and maybe bringing in somebody fresh and new. I mean, I'm not a big fan of upgrading coaches to head coaching positions after, because I think, that little stint where you just play hard for the next coach that's coming up, that doesn't really last. And I think you'll be seeing that with the Raiders. But yeah, I think we're in a good spot. I'm not even panicking right now. We'll be good. I think let's just reassess after week 8, week 9, see where we're at, and then at the end of the season, go out there and get us the right coach. But I think we need to outsource, though, for sure, and no more defensive coaches. Like, seriously, I can't keep doing this. Like, no more defense coaches. There you go, Woody. If I have anything, or you care about anybody that's a Jets fan, that's rocking a flag, that's buying tickets, that's doing anything related to this terribly ran franchise, please just pick the right coach and an offensive coach, and we will greatly appreciate it as fans. But that's it. That's it.
Fans have pointed out a couple things about you when it comes to you being a Jets fan. For all the information we know now, you are not a resident of New York. You were not born in New York. You may have
Right.
been to New York City. I'm not quite sure. We might need some proof on that. But you weren't born in the
Okay.
Northeast as a whole. So people would like to know, what's kind of the origin of this? How did this all happen to begin with? What made you decide that you wanted to be a Jets fan at the beginning?
Well, just be grateful for my presence first and foremost, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of us out there. You wanna oust me when there's not a lot of us out there? This is crazy. But I'll tell you the origin story, man. The thing of it was I'm a player's guy. As you know, Hill, as you know, people all of my friends know, like I love certain players. Like certain players gravitate. I wasn't really a teams guy. I mean, outside of like college sports, but so LeBron is my GOAT. So wherever LeBron went, that's where I go, right? And for my GOAT for football was LaDainian Tomlinson. And I really wanted to be like him. I love his swag. I remember the powder blue jerseys. And if you watch our episodes, you see you got an LT jersey back there, poster back there. So for a minute, I was a Chargers fan. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes to the Jets, obviously. And life is good when he goes to the Jets. You know what I'm saying? I'm following him. We get Sanchez, Mark Sanchez up there, Mr. Sanchez, before the pre-butt fumble, Sanchez. We go back-to-back AFC championships. We lose to some cheaters in Pittsburgh. We beat, Tom Brady. We got Bart Scott. Can't wait. Rant. Like, that stuff had me juiced up at around 11 and 12 years old. So that was the origin of it. And I thought coming up, I didn't know the history of the Jets. So when I came up there and I seen the instant success what was happening, we had Revis Island out there, Santonio Holmes coming over from Pittsburgh. I thought that was going to be life. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be so cool. I picked the right team. My GOAT retired up here. And we see where I'm at right now. We're talking about 14 years of despair. And I don't know where to go from here. But the origin is I followed my favorite player of all time, which is LT, and kind of just stuck with it.
And my final question for you, and the question that everyone really wanted to know. So I'm asking him this question, all right? Because everyone's blowing up our YouTube channel, my phone, like I'm a Jets fan, demanding that I ask this one question to you, the most important question at all. And it can be a yes or a no. Jordan, the people want to know, are you going to change your Jets prediction of them winning 11 games this season?
Ooh. Okay, so we at what, 2-3 right now?
Correct.
Because my ego say no. My ego say no. Like you don't dare. You know what? I'll say I'll go 9 or 10. And I'm only coming off of one of those wins, one or two of those wins. But I wouldn't be surprised at 11. We've run off some games. But man, I don't know. No, actually, I'm standing on that. No, forget that. No. 11 wins. 9 out of what? What would that be? Was there 17 games now? So we're already at 5.
So there's 12 weeks left, or there's 12 games left, my bad. There's 12 games left, and you won 2 out of the 5 so far. So you need to win 10 more games. Or I'm sorry. You need to win 9 more games.
Dang, they're going to be on me in the YouTube comments for not knowing basic math and being in a master's program. Yeah. All right, I'm going with 10 wins. I'll come off of 1, but that's it. I'm coming off of 1, and that's it. I'm not coming off of it. So that would be what? Yep. I say 10-7. Book it. Mark it. I don't care. And you could come for me, at me. Y'all keep coming at him, at me. Or Fireman Ed. Shout out to Fireman Ed, by the way. He's, that's talking about loyal people that seen the worst with the Jets. Jesus Christ. That man show up every week. And I show up too. And y'all chastise me? Bro, I had to hold on. Hear me. I'm out. Hold on. I know you have one more question. I drafted Bryce Petty We drafted Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg, and I had to sit there and defend that. Do you understand how that feels? To get excited about Bryce Petty? I don't think any of y'all will understand that. But who am I? Don't be a Jets fan. Where's the origin? Just be happy. It's just be happy as people out there that like y'all. God.
There you have it, guys. All right. I asked. That's our answer. All right. So you let us know down in the comments what you guys think. Is Jordan delusional? Is everything good? If you have a local therapist or a family physician, please put their number down below and I'll take that. But other than that, man, Jordan, I appreciate you as always. Thank you for joining me on this emergency meeting here. And we'll see what happens from here, man. We'll see what happens.
One final thing. Jets. Jets, baby. Let's go. I'm out.
Jumping into this new segment here, I thought this meeting was so big and such a big emergency that I needed some help covering this. So I asked one of my good friends, Nathan Garth, to jump online and help me out here with trying to go through the Jets, man. I never thought I would be sitting here discussing the Jets as much as I have been this year. But, I really appreciate you for hopping on here during this emergency. And if you want, just let everyone know a little bit about yourself, what got you over here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jacob. I obviously know Jacob and Jordan from college. Jordan actually was my roommate, so I have lived his fantasy of the Jets becoming relevant one day for a long time now. So I appreciate you guys having me and looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Garth has been a great supporter of our podcast and the whole movement in general, and definitely extended to you viewers. Again, when we talk about building a community, this is what we kind of mean. People that support our message, people that comment, people that, want to do more, be more involved. We have no problem inviting you onto the platform, giving you a voice, letting you be heard, right? If you don't want that, of course, yeah, comment down below. Let us know what you think. We have a lot of returning commenters for sure that we're appreciative of. But just an extension to you guys that it's more of just us sitting back and just telling you everything. We want it to be a community aspect. We want to hear other people's opinion because that forms better humans at the end of the day. But we're talking about the Jets here. So I had you sit in to go over Jordan's reaction to the Jets and where we go from there. And for everyone that knows, this video is being recorded during the Jets versus Bills game. So the Jets end up winning by 90. Sorry, we don't have a response for that right now. But whatever.
Delete the episode.
Yeah. So with everything that you heard now, what is your initial reactions to Jordan and what he thinks about the Jets?
Well, my initial reaction would be the definition of insanity, expecting the same thing the same thing happening over and over again, and expecting a different result. And that applies to the Jets the last 15 years at least, and Jordan's fandom and expectations with them as well. But I do agree. I would say that I do agree that Robert Saleh is getting painted as the scapegoat, especially with the fact that he is a defensive-minded head coach and the defense was far from the problem. I just think Woody Johnson, one of the most important jobs as an owner of an NFL franchise is hiring head coaches. Obviously, Woody Johnson isn't on the field. He isn't coming up with plays, anything like that. So that really is his biggest job. And he just has not hit on one in a long, long time. And also, it comes down to Robert Saleh, which is weird. You typically don't see midseason hires or midseason fires from head coaches with someone that commands a room and is a leader like Robert Saleh. So it is different from the aspect of, I do think and agree with Jordan that he is a leader of men. Most people that have ever played or coached with him always have great things to say about him. So that is the part where I do think he is the scapegoat. Also, I wanted to agree with Jordan that this narrative that Aaron Rodgers being across the world during training camp or mini camp or whatever it was, is affecting this team. It definitely is not affecting what's on the field. But I do think at some point when you're the franchise quarterback, when you are Aaron Rodgers, widely considered a top 10, if not top 5, if not top 3 quarterback of all time, with a new team, that's just a leadership issue. And I think that leadership issue trickles down from Joe Douglas not being at the press conference for firing their head coach, Woody Johnson continually lying to the media, lying to players, and all this stuff. So I do think at some point there has to be some leadership in that building. But like Jordan said, they're playing for the division lead right now. So there is still some hope and optimism. And like you saw with the Raiders last year with Antonio Pierce, you do usually see a kick step in the energy of a team when a coach is fired. So I guess we'll find out tonight. It's a must win for the Jets, not only for standings, but just for the direction of this organization as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with a lot of what you said. You know, listen, guys, you already know I'm a Bears fan. All right. Here's what I'll say because I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Jordan's suffering from a disease right now. Okay, guys? It's called PTFD, post traumatic fan disorder. All right. When you are a fan of a sports organization and they do something that is so crazy, so off the wall, it becomes such a traumatic experience for you that you just live in this manic state of delusion. All right. Hey, listen, I've been there. I've been there. Okay. It's happened. It happens to all of us. Okay. And that's what I think that's really going on. Because here's what I think. I think there's so much more to Robert Saleh that we just don't know about that's not being said. I don't know if he was part of some crypto scam or something like that that we don't know about because honestly, though, none of this makes sense when you look at it objectively. Like you said, the best part, the only saving grace of the Jets was that defense for the first 5 weeks. And the guy commanding that defense is the person that you fire, right? So now your only sense of stability, you're going to throw that into turmoil now. And you just got to hope they can keep it all together and still produce as much as they can. Yes, they're 2-2 or 2-3 going into this
Two and
game.
three.
Yeah, they're 2-3, right? But you look at the 3 losses; they're all one possession games. They're all instances where they could have won the game in the fourth quarter. It was just an issue of the offense and them not clicking. So it wasn't like they were getting blown out. It wasn't
Yeah,
like they were just downright terrible. It's like all these additions that you had to this offense, on top of Aaron Rodgers actually playing a full season at 40 years old, coming off an Achilles injury that, he, first of all, whoever that doctor is needs the Nobel Peace Prize for whatever he was able to do on that leg to get him back out there. But you have a lot of pieces there. And I didn't even talk about the division outside of Josh Allen, all the QBs in that division are QBs that went up against Spencer James and All American. Like, it's not like there's a lot of competition in this division right now. It's completely wide open. And even with Josh Allen, the Bills don't look as good either. Like, they look just
exactly.
as bad. There's
And
there's plenty of disaster games that they've had this season as well, to where it's like, this team might not win at all. So I don't know, man. There's got to be more to this that we just don't know. But yeah, man, it's insane. You're just blowing up the team.
and 2 of their 3 losses this year have been to NFC North NFC teams. With the Niners and the Broncos, which we all know that all these, with these expanded playoffs, all these wild card spots comes down to all these random tiebreakers, and wins in the division and wins in the conference is one of the biggest too. So like they only have 1 loss in the AFC. If they can get a win tonight, I mean, I think that the entirety of the season looking forward looks completely different. So tomorrow, the whole world could have a different opinion on the Jets, but I guess that's what we're gonna see tonight. But something that you mentioned about elevating that defensive coordinator, I'm actually I'm almost scared for the Jets defense with the whole mastermind behind it going to head coach. I mean, how much attention is going to be lost due to him having to take over the entire team instead of just focusing on that defense? So it'll be interesting. I could see the Jets season going completely in two different directions based off tonight.
What I don't understand with all this is I was under the impression that we're under a win now, right? So if we're trying to say this is a win now type of thing because you have a 40-year-old and your guy that you drafted that you probably should have built him up or at least gotten another young QB in that room, you traded him away, right? So you're just going all in, right? And you're getting all these pieces for him. Wherever he wants on his wish list, you're bringing that in, right? So you're getting ready to head coach now. Just objectively from watching football, I've never seen a team fire a head coach and then that team makes it to the Super Bowl. Like it just now you're just stuck in salvage mode. Is that how far can we get this and how cool can it be? At best, you can make it to you can win the division, make it to a divisional game, but you need two times a miracle to make it any further in that just with the turmoil of switching coaches and switching minds. And like you said before, you had pretty much two defensive minds under that defense. Now you have one, would you have half of one because now he has to overlook the whole team. And they even said it that they might even look for him to start calling plays on the offense with how bad Nathaniel Hackett is doing. It's like,
And that's something that's been lost in this whole news too, is Nathaniel Hackett getting demoted. And I've heard things saying that apparently the first thing Robert Saleh did that day on last Tuesday was inform Nathaniel Hackett that he was getting released of play calling duties. And then 10 minutes later, he's fired. So I don't know how Nathaniel Hackett can take that. The person that essentially fired you just gets fired 10 minutes later. So it's a mess. It's either gonna be the best decision they've made in a long time or just continue the chaos. And like you said, you don't see many teams fire a head coach and go on to do anything impressive, especially the Jets. I mean, Woody Johnson's never fired a coach midseason in his 25 years there. And I think they haven't done it since like the 70s. Like something is going on, man. I don't know what it is. And then you got Woody Johnson saying that he talked to Aaron Rodgers the night before he fired him and they didn't talk about it at all. Like what I said with the leadership, like there's no way they did not talk about that. Like, you know what it is. Guys talk when Woody Johnson calls him up, whether his intentions were to inform him about that or to actually just talk about other things in the organization, it came up. It had to have come up. Like, there's no way.
you know, one word that I think of when I think of this Jets organization so far, I think of like catty. Like I just feel like there's a lot of gossip going on, like in just little rooms and stuff like that. So I feel like Aaron Rodgers behind closed doors just being catty to Saleh, and then Woody Allen's being catty to Nathaniel Hackett or whatever. But that's what I feel like. It's just all this disconnect. And then on top of
Yeah.
that, you have Robert Saleh, which he came from the Bears, so I love the guy. You know, he had a great defense for us when he was with us, but he seemed like the only normal guy that was just like, okay, what are we doing here? It's like,
Man,
Rodgers, okay, I'm not defending you on this. You got to do this and that. Nathaniel, you got to do this. Like, he seemed like the only person trying to form some type of stability. But yeah, it must have been a lot of gossip going on through
it
that
had to.
organization.
I mean, the GM not being at a press conference of a head coaching firing midseason, that's unheard of. Either he didn't believe in the decision or something's going on. He didn't want to face the music.
Absolutely. So, going to our final part here, where does the Jets go from here? Like, same scenario that I gave Jordan. If you were the GM and you had to make decisions, what would be your course of action from here?
Yeah, like I said, I mean the way to fix it is I just really think it starts from the top. If there's no leadership coming from the GM, no leadership coming from the owner, like what do you expect the head coach to trickle that onto the players? You have Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, I don't think him being away, and you know how Aaron Rodgers is, hopping on Pat McAfee every week and stuff like that. I don't think that is indicative of the play on the field, but I mean, with all that lack of leadership, I mean, it has to affect something. But What I would do if I was the Jets GM, besides fire myself because he's terrible, I think, I mean, just like any successful organization, you got to build in the draft. Now, the Jets have hit on a lot of their top picks. I mean, Sauce Gardner, Quinnen Williams, Garrett Wilson, like Brees Hall. And it reminds me of the Chargers last year. I mean, the Chargers for years, they always have the big names. And people always wonder why it never translated to success. There's just no depth on that Jets offensive line. The defense, like Jordan mentioned, they're giving up a lot of yards, but not a lot of points. So they are playing well when it matters. But that defensive line has looked very inconsistent at times. You saw in that 49ers game, Jordan Mason in his fourth or fifth start ever was getting 8, 9, 10 yards before he was even getting contact. I mean, I do believe that the Jets defense can win them a decent amount of games this year, but you got to build depth through the draft. Not paying a 40-year-old quarterback off an Achilles tear is a good start as well. They just got to hit on a quarterback. I mean, when's the last time you heard Jordan mention all the quarterbacks that they've drafted? When's the last time they hit on a quarterback? Like, yeah, they can go get Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins or someone every year, but that doesn't build stability in an organization when you don't know who your quarterback's going to be every 2-3 years. Or in the Jets case, it feels like every year. So I think they just got to keep building depth through the draft, and they just have to hit on a quarterback at some point. They just have to. And they got to get off that field out in New Jersey because their injury problems are insane. They got to do something up there. This is ridiculous.
No, absolutely. Yeah, if I was in that GM position, I think, well, definitely, like I said before, you're kind of in salvage mode here. So you could win 8 games going forward. That's a good season now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a win for what's going on here. That's really where you're aiming for. And playoffs, I really don't think it's on the table. But if you're in November, December, at least playing some meaningful games, that would be nice. I'm going to that defensive locker room, defensive leadership, and I'm letting them know. I'm like, hey, listen, I need you to pitch a no hitter the rest of the season, basically.
Literally.
And everyone who's on board and participating, they're going to get a bag.
Yeah.
I'm letting them know right now. It's like, you're getting extensions. I'm keeping you guys. This is going to be our foundation. And then the offense, I mean, the offense wasn't really much in general, but if I were to ever blow up or trade or look to acquire more draft capital, it's going to start with the offense. And yeah, Brees is going to be on the table with that too, to be honest with you. Not to say that there's anything wrong with Brees or any of that nature, but like you said, we're going straight into rebuild. As soon as Rodgers retires or whatever happens after this, we gotta go straight into rebuild.
Yep.
And what piece is a workable piece? The defense, and we already paid them anyway. We got Quinn, and we got
Sauce.
I think DJ Reed signed something like that. Hassan Reddick, I guess, just gave up on the whole organization. So I hope they have his number blocked.
He's
But,
looking like the smartest person in the organization. He doesn't want to be a part of that.
he might have been. Which, by the way, Hassan Reddick, make a call to the Bears, man. Like, we'll take a pass rusher. I don't know if we can pay you, but we could do like a little sign to play, get you something now, and then work out a deal depending on how you do. But yeah, I would. That's where I'm going. Honestly, I'm like, whatever we do for this season, congratulations, just to keep my job. But after that, I was like, we gotta completely blow up this offense here. We gotta rebuild. Starts with the old line. Actually, no, starts with the head coach. There's one head coach option that I really like, but Jordan's not going to like it since it's a defensive-minded coach. But
the Jets need to give
the Titans
Ben
are definitely
Johnson,
missing.
The Jets need to give Ben Johnson a blank check. You tell him.
Oh yeah, actually, I didn't even think about him.
Ben Johnson needs to be on a first-class plane over to New Jersey, not even the New York Jets. Because his offensive schemes are insane. He's got Jared Goff looking like prime Peyton Manning out there. Like Ben Johnson to the New York Jets next season. Book it.
I like that. Honestly, I'm actually going to go with that. They need to do whatever they can to get Ben Johnson there, get some type of stability, an offensive minded guy. And then, yeah, man, you're starting the rat race all over again. We're trying to put the right pieces together and build a team. The only thing going for them, like I said, in that division is terrible. The only person that has a glimmer of hope is literally just one person, and that's Josh Allen. It's literally just Josh Allen on that Bills team, and everyone else is just huge question marks. So who knows,
Yeah.
man? Who knows? I think we spent way more than enough time talking about the Jets here, but absolutely, I do appreciate you hopping on for this emergency. I couldn't have done it without you. I needed some help here
Yeah, of
to
course.
handle all this. Yes.
Let me know when you want your emergency press conference for the Bears to start, because that's coming.
Hey, 4-2, going into a bye week, man. I've been feeling good. I'm gonna stick with that. We beat bad teams, but we look good beating them. So
Hey,
it's all you can
don't
ask for.
apologize for wins. It's
Hey,
it's almost
listen,
like
we
we
got the same
shouldn't
amount of
have.
scholarships, man.
It's almost like we shouldn't have labeled a rookie quarterback after 2 games. It's crazy.
I know, yeah, crazy, and shame on you fans because I read your messages. Shame,
Yeah,
but
you kept them
all right.
receipts.
Yes, we do. Yeah, but great episode all around. Appreciate it again for all the viewers. This is a lot of fun. Let us know what you guys have in mind. You want us to keep doing this for sure. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Check out our previous videos. See how right I am and how wrong Jordan is with both of our team takes and